Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello children, welcome back to the video classes of part 10 organic chemistry, some basic principles and techniques in organic chemistry. So in the previous class we discussed about the classification of organic compounds, correct? So the organic compounds are classified on the basis of structure of carbon or the carbon skeleton or the structure of the carbon chain, and secondly we can classify the organic compounds on the basis of functional group. In the previous class we studied about the classification of organic compounds on the basis of carbon chain or carbon chain structure or the carbon skeleton. Today let us move on to the classification of organic compounds based on functional group. Based on functional groups. Classification based on functional groups. Before going to the classification, let me give what do you mean by functional group. So what do you mean by functional group? Functional group or functional groups. So let me take the example of methane. You know it is a hydrocarbon and it belongs to alkanes. Methane, or even you can take ethane. This also belongs to the alkane class in organic compounds. So methane, when you remove one hydrogen and now you substitute OH in place of hydrogen. Similarly, C2H6, remove one hydrogen from this, you'll get C2H5 and substitute the OH group here. Similarly, now you take methane and remove this hydrogen, one hydrogen, you'll get CH3. In place of hydrogen, you'll substitute Cl. So in place of one hydrogen, you have to replace Cl, that is chloro group, and here you replace it OH. Now this is ethane, you know that, and this is methane, it is an alkane, and this is also methane, correct? This is also methane. Now what is the name of this compound? Now we cannot call this as methane because methane is with the formula CH4, but here we have CH3OH. Therefore, the name of the compound differs here after replacing one hydrogen by OH. Here also you can call this as a methane, and after replacing hydrogen by Cl, you cannot call this compound as methane. Now, you can call this compound as methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol. And here you can call it as ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol. And here you can call this as methyl chloride. What you can call it as methyl chloride. So methane gets converted to methyl chloride by replacing hydrogen by chlorine, and here also the methane gets converted to methyl alcohol by replacing one hydrogen by OH group. So to call this compound as methyl alcohol, the presence of this OH group is required. Since the compound containing this OH group, we can call this compound as methyl alcohol. Here also we can call this compound as methyl chloride because it containing Cl. And at the same time, the properties of methane differ from that of methyl alcohol. The name changes, at the same time properties also changes. So the properties of methane and ethane are differ from that of properties of methyl alcohol and ethyl alcohol. And at the same time, the properties of methane is differ from that of methyl chloride. So why the properties of methyl alcohol and ethyl alcohol differ from that of methane and ethane? The reason for that is due to the presence of this OH group. Due to the presence of this OH group, it changes the properties of this parent alkane. Methane gets converted to methyl alcohol due to the replacement of the group called OH, and thereby it changes the properties. So the change in the properties is because of the presence of OH group. So therefore this compound is called methyl alcohol. So then this group which changes the properties, which changes the name of the parent alkane by the replacement of hydrogen by that group, which changes the complete properties of the resulting compound. So the group is called functional group. And so conversion of ethane to ethyl alcohol. So ethane is a parent alkane. It gets converted to the next product. This is a new compound, therefore it is a product. Ethyl alcohol is a product which is obtained from ethane by replacing hydrogen by OH group. Therefore ethyl alcohol is called derivative of ethane. So alcohol, methyl alcohol, or it may be ethyl alcohol, these are nothing but derivatives of alkanes in general. So methyl chloride is also a derivative of methane. So if we want to get different class of organic compounds, so we had to take basically either alkene or the alkyne. Here methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol and methyl chloride are the derivatives of respective alkanes. So methyl alcohol is a derivative of methane, ethyl alcohol is a derivative of ethane, and methyl chloride is a derivative of methane. So in general these compounds are the derivatives of respective alkanes. What do you mean by derivatives? Derivatives are nothing but the products which are obtained after the replacement of one or more hydrogen atoms of alkanes by another atom or a group of atom. This is maybe an atom or it may be group of atoms. So replacement of another atom or group of atoms by hydrogen atom present in alkanes gives a new product, and that new product is called derivatives of alkanes. So these derivatives of alkane shows different properties compared to that of parent alkanes. Why? Because of the presence of the another group or the group of atoms. What are those groups called? They are nothing but functional groups. Then how to define functional groups? It is an atom or group of atoms which determines the complete properties of the given organic compound. So an atom or group of atoms which determines the complete properties. Complete properties means both physical and chemical properties of a given organic compound, so are called functional groups. It may be a single atom or it may be a group of atoms. If it determines the property of that particular organic compound, means that group is called functional group. So now the methane and ethane shows different properties, as I said. The properties of methane and ethane is due to the presence of carbon to carbon single sigma bond. So why methane and ethane shows particular property? That is only because of the presence of carbon to carbon single sigma bond. Then the carbon to carbon single sigma bond is also a functional group because this determines the properties. If you consider ethene, CH2 double bond CH2, ethene. So this is first member of alkene. This is ethene. As we know that ethane contains 2 carbon atoms, ethene also contains 2 carbon atoms, but the properties of ethane is differ from that of the properties of ethene. So why they show different properties? The reason is in ethane we have carbon to carbon single sigma bond, and in ethene we have carbon to carbon double bond, carbon to carbon double bond. And at the same time, if you move on to ethyne, another compound called ethine. Here we have carbon to carbon triple bond. Here we have carbon to carbon triple bond. So properties of ethane, ethene and ethine are different because that are determined on the basis of nature of the bond between the carbon atoms. So the properties of alkanes, alkenes and alkynes depends on nature of the bond between the carbon atoms. Hence, carbon to carbon single bond is also a functional group. That is the group which can determine the properties of alkanes, and presence of carbon to carbon double bond in alkenes determines the properties of alkenes, and presence of carbon to carbon triple bonds in alkynes determines the complete properties of alkynes. Therefore, these are also called functional groups. And in alcohols, OH group determines the complete properties of alcohols. Therefore, OH group is a functional group of alcohols. And here, chlorine determines the complete properties of methyl chloride. Therefore, Cl is a functional group of the methyl chloride because it determines its properties. Then, while indicating this functional group, we have to use hyphen. So before writing the group, we had to use hyphen. So how to write the functional group? OH. So we cannot write OH like this. We have to use hyphen. What is this hyphen indicates? Vacant bond or vacant valency. So one valency of oxygen is vacant. So that indicates writing the hyphen, not a negative sign here. You have to call it as negative OH. You cannot call it as negative OH. It is hyphen, and that hyphen indicates the presence of one valency of oxygen vacant. Okay. So while indicating the functional group, you have to indicate the functional group by writing hyphen first and after the group of atoms, and writing this type of functional group is wrong. You have to mention the functional group in this form. Okay. Now, what is that? What are the types of these functional groups? So then how to define a functional group? I'll repeat the functional group. It is an atom or group of atoms which determines the complete properties of organic compounds. An atom or group of atoms which determines the complete properties of organic compounds are called functional groups. How to write the functional groups, how to indicate the functional groups? By putting hyphen before writing the atom or a group of atoms indicates the functional group, and the hyphen indicates what? The vacant bond of the atom which is next to the hyphen. Okay. Now, so there are two types of functional groups. We can classify the functional groups into two types. What are those? That is terminal functional groups. Terminal functional groups. Second one is non-terminal functional groups. Non-terminal functional groups. So, first one is terminal functional group. Second one is non-terminal functional groups. What do you mean by terminal? End. If functional group always present at the end of the carbon chain, then those functional groups are called terminal functional group. So terminal functional groups are nothing but the functional groups which are always present at the end of the carbon chain, and such type of functional groups are called terminal functional groups. For example, CHO, aldehyde group, and COOH, carboxylic acids group, and SO3H, sulfonic acid groups. So these are the some examples for terminal functional groups. So CHO, COOH and sulfonic acid group, aldehyde, carboxylic acid, sulfonic acid groups. All these are present at the end of the carbon chain. One more you can give cyanide group, and CONH2, amide group. So these are the examples for terminal functional groups. These groups are always present at the end of the carbon chain. Then what are non-terminal functional groups? Non-terminal functional groups are nothing but the functional groups which are present at the non-terminal position of a carbon chain. They are not present at the end of the carbon chain. So then such type of functional groups are called non-terminal functional groups. The functional groups which are present at the non-terminal position of the carbon chain, then they are called non-terminal functional groups. So what are the examples? Examples we can give: ketone group. CO is a ketone group, and COO, it is called ester. Ester functional group you can give, and one more is ether. O, ether. And if you take OH, alcoholic group. So it may act as terminal function, and also sometimes it acts as a non-terminal functional group. So it may be present at the end of the carbon chain, or it may be present at the non-terminal position of the carbon chain. So OH group is both terminal and a non-terminal functional group. But these groups are particularly the terminal functional groups, because the tetravalency of the carbon has here completely satisfied with 3 valencies of carbon are completely satisfied, left with only one valency of the carbon. So therefore we have to write the hyphen here, that it indicates the vacancy of one valency here. So this is terminal functional groups, and these are called non-terminal functional groups. Now, by writing the functional groups only, we can identify whether the group is terminal or non-terminal. So if you use hyphen, before writing the group, then it indicates only one hyphen before writing the group, then that indicates the functional group is terminal functional group. Whereas, how to write the non-terminal functional group? If hyphens are present on either sides of the functional group, if we represent a functional group in between the two hyphens, so if hyphens are present on either sides of the functional group, then you can say it is non-terminal functional group. So in the representation only we can identify whether it is terminal or non-terminal. So ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು functional group end of the carbon chain ಇದ್ರೆ terminal ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹೇಗೆ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಹೈಫನ್ ಬರೆದಿದ್ರೆ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದ ಗ್ರೂಪ್, ದಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್. So if hyphens are present on either sides of the functional group, then that indicates non-terminal functional groups. Illu chain add ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, illu carbon chain ಇರಬಹುದು. So therefore this functional group is non-terminal. Why it is non-terminal? Because it containing hyphens on either sides. So this is the difference between terminal functional groups and non-terminal functional groups. Further, these functional groups are further classified into two types. So these are the two types which depends on priority or the importance to the functional group. Depending on the importance to the functional groups or the priority to the functional groups, we can classify the functional groups again into two types, that is primary functional groups. Primary functional groups, and second one secondary functional groups. Primary functional groups, secondary functional groups. So this classification based on priority for the functional groups. For example, if a given organic compound containing both double bond and a OH group. So if a given organic compound containing both carbon to carbon double bond and a OH group, then the properties of such compounds mainly depends on OH group rather than the carbon to carbon double bond. So thereby we are giving importance to the OH group because it actually determines the properties. No doubt, carbon to carbon double bond also determines the properties of that particular organic compound. So, understood this concept? If a given organic compound containing both carbon to carbon double bond and the OH group, the maximum properties of that particular compound depends on OH group rather than the carbon to carbon double bond. It does not mean that the carbon to carbon double bond does not determine the properties. No, it also gives the properties of the given organic compound, but the maximum property is given by OH. Therefore, so priority goes to OH group. Priority goes to OH group. When the priority goes to OH group, so in a given organic compound, you can say OH is a primary functional group and carbon to carbon double bond is a secondary functional group. Clear? So, OH is a primary functional group and carbon to carbon double bond is a secondary functional group. Similarly, if in a given organic compound, if we have CHO group and OH group, if we have both the aldehyde and the alcohol functional group in a given organic compound, then definitely priority goes to CHO, means maximum properties of the compound depends on CHO. Then which becomes primary functional group? Aldehyde becomes primary functional group and alcohol group is secondary functional group. So, primary functional group will be aldehyde functional group and secondary functional group will be OH group. So, the functional groups are further classified into two types, primary functional groups and the secondary functional groups, and this classification is based on priority of the functional groups present in a given organic compound. When we have to give the priority when a given organic compound containing more than one functional group. So, here primary and the secondary functional group that we can classify when organic compound containing more than one functional group, then we can classify it into primary and the secondary functional groups. Similarly, Cl, chloro, Cl along with the OH group is present. So, along with the OH group, alcoholic functional group, if Cl, chloro group, if it is present, so definitely the properties depends on the OH group, not on the Cl. Then OH becomes primary and chloro becomes secondary. And such type of groups, for example, chloro, bromo, and also nitro, NO2, and R means alkyl group. I'll give what do you mean by alkyl group. So, R group. All these are called secondary functional groups. And these functional groups are also called substituent groups. Okay. Now, so chloro, bromo, nitro and alkyl groups. These groups are secondary functional groups. And these groups are also called substituent groups. Some secondary functional groups are also called substituent groups. Substituent groups are nothing but the groups which containing one vacant valency. So, because these groups are formed from the neutral molecules. They are formed from the neutral molecules. For example, how the chlorine substituent that we get, we have chlorine molecule and remove one chlorine atom, what you get? Cl. After removing one chlorine atom, you will get Cl. Therefore, this type of group is called substituent groups. If the groups are obtained by the loss of one atom from the neutral molecules, then such groups are called substituent groups. And these substituent groups, some of the secondary functional groups acts as a substituent groups. They are nothing but chloro, bromo, nitro, NaNO3, sodium nitrate is there. Just you remove one oxygen from nitrate, NO3, what you get? Nitro group. So similarly, alkyl group, as I said, alkyl group. This group is important. I'll give only the introduction. Later on, let us consider the alkyl groups in detail. So what are alkyl groups? Alkyl groups are also secondary functional groups, and they are also called substituent groups. Substituent groups. Alkyl groups are called substituent groups. Why they are called substituent groups? Because they are obtained from the alkanes. They are obtained from the alkanes. So take an alkane, remove one hydrogen from the alkane and replace alkane. Remove ANE and add YL. So to the name of alkane, so from the name of the alkane, you have to remove ANE and you have to add YL. What you get? Alkyl group. Alkyl group. Once you remove ANE from this, then you have to represent it by R. R is nothing but alkyl group. While representing alkyl group, you have to show the hyphen because it is obtained by the loss of one hydrogen. Now, let me take one example for this. Methane. You take methane, remove one hydrogen. What is this? Methane. Remove one hydrogen. What you get? CH3. CH3. Okay. Now look at here. Alkyl groups. While representing alkyl groups, while representing methyl, I put hyphen after the group. I put hyphen after the group. Therefore, while representing the alkyl group, so it is better to represent alkyl group. After writing the group, you have to give the hyphen because it is added after, or if it is added as a prefix to the given name of the compound. So alkyl group is always added first to the name of the alkane. So because of that reason, while naming the nomenclature of organic compounds, let us come to know why we had to write hyphen before writing the group and after writing the group. Particularly for functional groups, primary functional groups, we need to express the primary functional group by putting hyphen, and then we have to write the group of atoms as a functional group. But while writing the substituent groups, especially the substituent group, they are nothing but the secondary functional group, some class of secondary functional groups. So while writing the secondary functional groups or the substituent groups, we have to write the group first and then the hyphen. So this is a point that you have to remember. Primary functional groups, while indicating the primary functional group, first comes hyphen and then the group. And while indicating the secondary and the substituent groups, secondary functional groups are the substituent groups, we have to indicate first group and then the hyphen. So that is why I have written methane. After losing one hydrogen, you will get CH3. And how to give the name? Methane minus ANE plus YL. Then the group becomes methyl. So name of the alkyl group can be obtained by subtracting ANE and by adding YL. What you get? Methyl group. And similarly, you can move on to ethane. C2H6. This is ethane group. Remove one hydrogen. What you get? C2H5. What is the name of the group? Ethyl group. What is the name of C2H5 group? Ethyl group. So on you will get for propane, butane, pentane, like that. Okay. So therefore these alkyl groups are in general represented as R. What is the R group represent? It is a substituent group obtained from the respective alkanes, and the name of the group is alkyl group. Name of the group is alkyl group, and it is very important, one of the important substituent groups. So it is one of the important substituent groups. Okay. Now let us move on to the classification of organic compounds based on these functional groups. Now you know what do you mean by functional groups? What are the classification in functional groups? And when we are going to classify the functional groups into primary and secondary, and how to express or how to indicate the functional groups, always by putting a hyphen. Hyphen indicates the vacant valency of that group. Okay. So this is about the functional groups. And one more point that you have to remember. So if we indicate aldehyde functional group like this, hyphen CHO. So particularly if we expand the structure of the CHO group, so we have to write like this, C double bond OH. So this is the actual structure of CHO. So always we used to write it as CHO in this form. Actual structure is this, C double bond OH. This is the actual structure of aldehyde functional group. So look at here, oxygen is divalent, its valency is satisfied. Hydrogen is a monovalent, its valency is also satisfied. But what is the valency of carbon? You know that it is a tetravalent, but it satisfied only 3 valencies here, left with 1 valency vacant. So while writing the functional group, we are using hyphen before the group. So the atom which is immediate, the atom which comes immediately after the hyphen, the atom which comes immediately after the hyphen, the atom which comes immediately after the hyphen is called key atom. What is that atom called? Key atom. Remember this and it is important. So what is key atom? An atom which comes immediately after the hyphen in a functional group is called key atom. So this hyphen belongs to this carbon. It indicates that one valency of the carbon is vacant. Therefore, an atom immediately after the hyphen is called key atom in a functional group. Key atom in a functional group. In CHO, C is the key atom. Now, which is the key atom in OH? Which is the key atom in OH? Definitely O is the key atom in a OH group. Alcoholic group. In alcoholic group, O is the key atom. Clear? Similarly, in SO3H group, sulfonic acid group. Actually, the structure of this sulfonic acid group is this, OH. Sulfonic acid group. Which is the key atom here? Definitely the sulfur. Sulfur is the key atom because it is an atom which comes immediately after the hyphen in a functional group. Therefore, sulfur is the key atom. So this point is important while giving the classification of organic compounds based on functional groups. So I think functional groups, nothing but an atom or group of atoms which determines the complete properties of an organic compounds are called functional groups. They are classified into 2 types. What are those? Terminal and non-terminal functional groups, depending on the position of functional group on a carbon chain. And on the basis of priority, we can classify the functional groups into 2 types. One is primary functional group, second one is secondary functional groups. And secondary functional groups also contain substituents. Substituents, the best example for substituent groups is alkyl group. Alkyl groups are obtained by removing one hydrogen from the respective alkanes. Alkyl groups are obtained by removing one hydrogen from the respective alkanes. And alkyl groups are represented by using a letter R. Capital R here stands for alkyl group. Okay. Now, similarly, one more substituent group I want to give, that is, now consider C6H6. You know what is this compound? What is this compound? Benzene, correct? It is benzene. Now remove one hydrogen from benzene. Remove one hydrogen from benzene. It will be C6H5. What is the group becomes? C6H5. This is also a substituent group. This is also a substituent group, and this group is called phenyl. It's not benzyl, it is phenyl. So, what is phenyl group? C6H5 with hyphen. One vacancy of the carbon is vacant because it is obtained by removing one hydrogen. So, therefore, C6H5 is a phenyl group. Very, very important. Phenyl group. So, this phenyl group, since it is a derivative from aromatic hydrocarbon, Phenyl group is a substituent group and it is derived from the aromatic hydrocarbon, say benzene, and this group is called, this is an example for aryl group. What is the name of this? Aryl group, like that of alkyl group. Alkyl group is derived from the alkanes, correct, by removing one hydrogen. Similarly, so phenyl group is a group which is obtained by removing one hydrogen from the benzene. What is benzene? Aromatic hydrocarbon. Therefore, phenyl group is an example for aryl group. Phenyl group is an example for aryl group. Then how to denote this aryl group? Ar. So if you write Ar means it is an aryl group. Aromatic ring irutte alli aryl group, and if you write R group then it is alkyl group. Even you can write like this. This is benzene, correct? After removing hydrogen you can express this aryl group like this. You can express this aryl group like this. So if you write one hyphen like this, this is a neutral molecule, benzene. After writing one hyphen vacant here, so this indicates phenyl group. This indicates phenyl group. This is phenyl group. It is an example for aryl group. It is an example for aryl group. Phenyl group you can write like this, C6H5, or even you can write like this. So this is very important. Did you get the difference? Alkyl group and aryl group. What is an alkyl group? It is a substituent group which is obtained by the loss of one hydrogen atom from the respective alkanes. Clear? Then what do you mean by aryl group? Aryl group is a substituent group obtained by the removal of one hydrogen from the aromatic hydrocarbon called benzene. So that is an aryl group. Example is a phenyl group. Phenyl group is nothing but an aryl group. So this is about the substituent group, especially the alkyl group and the aryl group. So why I have given these two substituent groups? Because we need to express in a general formula of different class of organic compounds and the classification based on the functional group. So now organic compounds na classify ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ on the basis of functional groups. On the basis of functional groups ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು organic compounds na classify ಮಾಡಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು represent ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ class of organic compounds na. So to represent such organic compounds, such class of organic compounds by using general formula, then we required alkyl group and the aryl group. We required alkyl group and the aryl group. Okay, now let us move on to the classification here. So write down the table for this. Write down the heading classification based on functional groups. Make 4 columns. So make 4 columns. In the first carbon you take down functional group. Functional group. And in the second column you take name of the functional group. Name of the functional group. Name of the functional group. And in the third column you write class of organic compounds. Class of organic compounds. And in the last column you have to take The general representation of organic compounds. General representation of organic compounds. General representation of organic compound. So make a 4 columns, and in the first column you have to write the functional group. You have to write the functional group in the first column, and in the second column you have to write the name of the functional groups, and in the third column you have to write the class of organic compounds the compound belongs. Okay, and the last one is you have to write general representation of organic compounds. Now let me start the classification based on functional group. So the first functional group here is first functional group. First one, if there is a carbon to carbon single bond in a given compound, then it is called single covalent sigma bond. Correct? It is a single covalent bond and it is a single covalent sigma bond. Now, what is the class of organic compounds where we have only carbon to carbon single sigma bond? When only carbon to carbon single sigma bond is present, then you can define it as aliphatic saturated organic compounds which containing only carbon to carbon single sigma bond are called alkanes. So, the class of compounds is alkanes. Class of organic compounds is alkanes. Then how to represent this? RH. RH. Alkyl group and the hydrogen. Methyl and hydrogen, methane you will get. So this is the general representation of alkanes. While writing the reactions, you can use this general representation. Okay. Now this is about the general representation of alkanes. Now let us move on to the second one. Second one, it is C double bond C. That is carbon to carbon double bond. So double bond. Double bond. You know that in double bond, one is pi, another one is sigma bond. So double bonds are present in which class of organic compounds? Yes, they are present in alkenes. The class of organic compounds will be alkenes. Then how to represent? R, CH, double bond CH, R. So you can also take R, R dash. So R and R dash may be same or they are different. ಏನು ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು R and R dash same ಆದ್ರೂ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು different ಆದ್ರೂ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. If you put R and R dash as hydrogen here, R and R dash if it is hydrogen, you will get a first member of alkene, that is ethene. So you put hydrogen here, CH2, you put R dash here, that is also CH2, then CH2 double bond CH2 is nothing but ethene. So this is the second class of organic compounds. And the third one, as I said, double bond and triple bonds are also functional groups. They are considered as a secondary functional groups. So C triple bond C, you know that it is a triple bond. Triple bond. If triple bond is present between the carbon atoms, these two becomes unsaturated compounds. Aliphatic unsaturated compounds where we have double and triple bond. Further they are classified into alkenes and alkynes. The class of compounds are nothing but alkynes and the general representation R C triple bond C R dash. So again R and R dash may be same or it may be different. Okay, now the fourth one is OH. OH, that is hydroxyl. Hydroxyl group. Hydroxyl group means it belongs to alcohols. The class of compounds are nothing but alcohols. You can also name it as hydroxy. You can also use it as hydroxy here. Hydroxyl or hydroxy. Hydroxyl or hydroxy, and the compounds belongs to the class called alcohols. Then how to represent? ROH or AROH. ROH, AROH. It may be attached to the alkyl group or it may be directly attached to the benzene ring. So, in next concepts, you come to know why we need to represent the compounds like this, alkyl or the aryl group. So, which helps you in writing the general reactions. Okay, now the next one is, fifth one is aldehyde group, C double bond OH. I'll give the structure here along with abbreviation CHO. You can represent it as CHO or C double bond OH. And you know that carbon is the K atom here, and this is aldehyde. Name of the functional group is aldehyde functional group, and it is also called formyl group. What it is called? Formyl group, and it belongs to the category of aldehydes. Belong to the category of aldehydes. And how to represent? RCHO or ARCHO. RCHO or ARCHO. Now, move on to the next one. That is sixth one. C double bond O. C double bond O. So, you can also write like this, CO. Okay, now, so this is called keto group. This is called keto group. You can also call it as oxo group, and even you can call it as carbonyl group. Very important. C double bond O or CO. On either side we have hyphens here. This itself indicates it is what? Non-terminal functional group. Aldehyde is a terminal functional group, and this is keto or oxo or carbonyl group. So it is a carbonyl group. So this name is also important. Then the compound belongs to the class called ketones. They are nothing but ketones. Then how to represent? Since it is non-terminal, you can represent it as RCO R dash. Again, R and R dash may be same or they are different. And you can also write it as ARCO AR. So it may be attached to the aryl group also, but common representation is RCO R dash. So this is a non-terminal functional group. So I have given 6 functional groups here. Okay, note down this and move on to the next. Next one is over 7th one. Let me write the next functional groups. Okay, so let me give the next functional groups here. We completed ketones. And next one is Okay, write on the seventh one. Seventh one is C double bond O OH, or you can write like this COOH. You can also write COOH. It is carboxy or carboxylic. Carboxylic or carboxy group or carboxylic group, and it belongs to the category called, name itself gives, carboxylic acids. If an organic compound containing COOH group means the class of organic compound is nothing but carboxylic acids. So carboxylic acids, and how to represent? RCOOH or ARCOOH, and it is also a terminal functional group. Okay, now move on to the next one, eighth one. C double bond O NH2, or you can write it as CONH2. CONH2. So this is the name called amide. C double bond O NH2 is a amide functional group. Amide functional group. CONH2 is a amide functional group. So they belongs to acid amides. So they belongs to the class of compound called acid amides. So look at here, these are acids. COOH group, if it is present, then they are called carboxylic acids. Here OH is replaced by NH2. Hence it is called acid amides. Okay, because it is a derivative of carboxylic acids. Acid amides are the derivatives of carboxylic acids. Then how to represent? The organic compounds are CONH2 or ARCONH2. RCONH2 or ARCONH2. That is a general representation of acid amides. Now, ninth one, C double bond O X or COX. Here you can take the example as C double bond O Cl. So X is nothing but halogen. Halogen may be chlorine or bromine or the iodine. So in place of X you can take chlorine, bromine or the iodine. I took the example of Cl here in place of X. So this is the general representation for halogens. So in organic reactions we are representing the halogens as X. Okay. So X2 means halogen molecule, Cl2. X2, Cl2. X, Cl, Br or I. Then what are these what is the name of this functional group? Carbonyl, halocarbonyl, halogen. Here we have to use it as halo. Halo stands for chlorobromoiodo. Chlorobromoiodo, depending on the nature of the halogen. Since I have used here Cl, it is chloro. It is chloro. Clear? So halocarbonyl. Halocarbonyl. Example ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಈಗ? Chlorocarbonyl. In an example we had to write chlorocarbonyl because chlorine atom is added to the carbonyl group. Therefore chlorocarbonyl. Clear? And look at here, this is an acid, C double bond O OH. OH is replaced by halogen. Then what is the compound called? The compounds are nothing but acid halides. Acid halides. So if chlorine is there, then it is acid chloride. Bromine is there, acid bromide. Iodine is there, acid iodide. So halogen derivative of carboxylic acids are called acid halides. Clear? Then how to represent? RCOX or ARCOX. RCOX or ARCOX. Better you write like this. ARCOX. In all the compounds, you better write the general formula in this way. Okay. So this is nothing but acid halides. Acid halides. Now, next one. SO3H. S double bond O H. Or you can write it as SO3H. Okay. And the name of the functional group is sulfonic acid. Sulfonic acid. SO3H is a sulfonic acid. Okay. Now, what are the class of compounds called? Yes, they are also called sulfonic acids. Sulfonic acids. So, replacing hydrogen of the alkane by SO3H group. Sulfonic acid group. Here the key atom is sulfur. Here the key atom is carbon. Here the key atom is carbon, because this is an atom which is next to the hyphen. Hence it is a key atom. Sulfonic acids. How to represent sulfonic acids? R, S double bond O, OH. R, A, R, S double bond O, OH. So, this is the representation of sulfonic acids. So I have given 10 functional groups and respect name of the functional groups and a class of organic compounds and also the general representation. So, let me continue the remaining class of organic compounds on the basis of functional group in the next class.